ripping through the hall. A terrified scream echoed in her ears. Another patient's or her own? She didn't know. Maybe both. A fireman appeared and pointed toward a back exit. She covered her mouth, coughing as smoke filled her lungs, then followed as everyone crouched low to make it outside. Lights from the fire truck and police twirled in the sky. Beds, wheelchairs filled with the injured and those too weak to walk, patients, family, visitors, and hospital workers poured onto the lawn. Doctors, nurses, and medics were circulating to tend to the hurt and sick. Flames shot from the building and firefighters scurried to douse the blaze. First responders rushed inside to save lives. A coughing fit seized her, but she brushed aside the medic who approached her. "The babies, where are they?" He turned and scanned the area, then pointed to a corner near the parking lot. Cora took off running. She was so weak that her legs wobbled unsteadily. She searched faces for Drew, but didn't see him either. "God, please, let him have Alice." Praying with all her might, she staggered through the mess, the terrified and pain-filled screams of the injured filling the smoky air. Finally, she spotted a row of bassinets. Tears blurred her eyes, but she stumbled forward and frantically began to search the bassinets. Other parents were doing the same. 2 nurses trying to organize the chaos and failing as frightened mothers dragged their infants into their arms. Cora finally spotted the bassinet marked Westbrook, girl, and gripped the edge of it. She reached inside, but her baby was gone. Chapter 1. 5 years later. Cora's phone beeped as she let herself into her house, but she was juggling a grocery bag and a bottle of Chardonnay and couldn't reach it. She and her ex-husband Drew had bought the little bungalow nestled in the mountains of North Carolina 6 years ago when they'd first married, and were happy, before Alice was taken. That day the world stopped for Cora. Sometimes she wanted to give up, to die and be rid of the pain. But every time she reached for the razor blade to slit her wrists, she saw her baby's face in her mind. Sweet, precious Alice, with a little round face and a cherub nose, and a gummy smile. A tiny 6-pound infant who'd trusted her mother to take care of her. But Cora had failed. Her baby was out there somewhere. Cora wasn't going to give up until she found her. Unlike Drew, who abandoned Cora a few months after their baby had disappeared. Cora wanted to hold Alice and assure her that all she'd ever wanted was to be her mommy. She wanted to rock her when she didn't feel good and clean her boo-boos and pick her up when she fell. Her phone vibrated again, indicating she had a message. Maybe it was the principal of the elementary school where she taught, saying he'd changed his mind and she hadn't been fired. When the last bell had rung today, he'd summoned her into his office. "Cora, I understand how painful losing your daughter was, but you frightened Nina Fuller. Her mother called me to complain."
"I heard she was adopted."
"I'm well aware of the family's situation, and you overstepped."
"But I thought—"
"You thought about your own obsession," he said, cutting her off. "Not about how that woman had 3 miscarriages and was on a wait list to adopt for 3 years before they got Nina."
Cora's heart squeezed. She had known about the miscarriages and was sure the woman had suffered. "I'm sorry," Cora said sincerely. "I'll apologize to Nina and her mother." He held up a warning hand.
"No, you are to leave them alone. Enough is enough. You need to take a break from teaching and get some help."
He meant psychiatric help. She had already done that. It hadn't worked. The only thing that would make her whole again was to find her daughter, to tell her how much she loved her, that she'd been looking for her every day since that awful fire when someone had stolen her. At first she'd been terrified that her baby had died in the fire, but after a massive search of the hospital and grounds, the police found Alice's hospital bracelet, tossed on the ground near the parking lot. That bracelet led them all to believe that someone had abducted